Hello, friends. Your old Uncle Andy here, the UC Panda himself, coming to you on Friday, April 4th, with what we hope are some winning sports picks. We'll get right into it here with you so we can get you these winners and you can get yourself to the window. Had a not so great night last night. We've been on a roll lately, so we were bound for some regression. So we've sort of retreated back to the mean a little bit. We did have a couple of no sweat bets going, and so we've got a couple of free rolls to show for ourselves here tonight, and we are going to try to put those together for some plus money. First things first, if you look at the NBA card tonight, there are a lot of huge NBA spreads. Teams that are even coming off a back-to-back in some cases, laying 10.5 points on the road. I wouldn't advise you do that. It's really pretty unpredictable this time of year with NBA. Certainly saw that last night, a couple of surprising results. So there are other things to bet, and NBA playoffs will be starting up here in like what, 2 weeks. So, I mean, there's plenty of NBA to bet, maybe with a little bit more certainty going forward. Like I said yesterday, keep on looking at your DraftKings, your MGM for bonuses and no sweats, so that can result in some free rolls. You can at least get your money back, or maybe even turn a little profit, like we are going to attempt to do here today. One thing I added real quick, and I'll talk more about this. I do have a betting slide later. I'm going to teach you a little about Major League Baseball betting and not to be betting minus 300 favorites. But one thing we are going to do tonight, we are going to try to martingale the Philadelphia Phillies at home against the Dodgers at a plus 110 price. And what a martingale bet simply is this. We're going to presume that the Philadelphia Phillies are not going to be swept at home as underdogs. It's a pretty good squad. And so you will bet 1 unit tonight on the Phillies. In the event they lose, tomorrow you will bet 2 units. In the unfortunate event they lose, then come Sunday, you will bet 3 units. So the theory being the Phillies are not going to be swept at home. They're going to win one of these games. We'll at least win one of these winners and we'll have a profit to show for it. So it's a little bit of a dicey proposition. There are some people who live and die by the martingale system, but the trouble is you can't martingale everybody. You can't martingale the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm sorry to say you probably couldn't martingale the Cincinnati Reds. And there are teams like that that are terrible and will go on 6 game losing streaks. Doesn't matter if they're home or not. And so, you've got to be careful using this martingale. It's not a universal system. You can't use it with every team. We are going to use it tonight with the Phillies and throughout the weekend in the event they don't win tonight. They're a plus money favorite, so we'll go ahead and go for it and hope it turns out for us. As always, keep following us over at Uncle Andy Sports on Twitter, and we'll keep giving you the winners. Here are the plays for this evening, starting with a no sweat bet on women's Final Four. We're going to go with South Carolina and UConn at minus 116. I do think those are the better teams, and I do think they're going to win. Love the Capitals tonight at home against the Blackhawks. Capitals by themselves were like minus 425 in spots. So we're not going to take them all alone and lay $4. So we are going to take the Caps to win in regulation, and we are going to hook that up with a pretty good price that I found on an under 6.5 with two stone cold lock under teams in the Wild and the Isles, under 6.5. Put them together, it's a free roll at plus 112. It's kind of bet you want to make with a free roll. It's going to stay with the Capitals game. We are going to go with the grade 8 Ovechkin to get at least 4 shots. His actual prop was to get 5 shots, and that was paying plus money. So we went ahead and got him at 4+ shots at 1 unit, minus 155. 1 unit's going to pay you 164. I think that's a pretty good bet. The whole purpose of the Capitals season this year has been to get Ovechkin to the point where he can break Wayne Gretzky's record. And as a result, Capitals having a pretty good year. I think they sit at the very top of the food chain in the Eastern Conference. I think that continues tonight. Blackhawks, nothing much to play for. And so we'll go ahead and go with Ovi to have a big night. If you want to take Ovechkin to have a point or score a goal, I think that's even a good bet. But can't bet everything. We are going to take the Yankees and the Braves, the winless Braves, 0-7 this year, on a free roll at plus 127. Braves by themselves were like minus 235 favorite at home against the Marlins. Baseball, they play 162 games. The Braves are bound to win sometime, and I think after the day off yesterday, after this horrible West Coast road trip they had, they're going to come home, day to think about it, day to get sort of right, and I think they will win the game tonight, but I didn't want to lay the $2.35 to prove it. So we hooked them up with the Yankees, who I think are going to win against the lowly Pirates. and we'll get that at a free roll at plus money. Unfortunately, going to fade my Reds tonight. Reds bats have been ice cold. They have not scored a run in like 28 innings or something. Three whole games. They've lost three consecutive games, 1-0. That has not happened in Major League Baseball since 1960. So we're talking, what is that, 65 years. Think of all the baseball games, 162 games a year for now we're what, 30 teams? Back in the old days, maybe 25 teams. And this has not happened in 65 years. How many how many baseball games have transpired since 1960? And the Reds found a way to do something that hasn't been done since most of your parents were even born. So we're going to go ahead and take the no run in the first inning, lay the 130 on that with Reds and Brewers. I like the Reds to not even get a hit in the first inning. There's nothing to indicate they're going to get a hit in the first inning. We'll go ahead and lay the 130 on that. And we're going to do first at bats for Elly De La Cruz and Matt McLain to not get a hit at plus 140, plus 130. I'm also going to go with Spencer Steer throughout the game not to get a hit. Spencer Steer does not look right. We're going to go ahead and take him not to have a hit in this ball game at plus 135. So let's talk a little bit about Major League Baseball betting. A lot of you have probably been betting the Dodgers every day. The Dodgers are 7-0. If you're betting the Dodgers at 1 unit, to win 1 unit, in other words, you are 7 units ahead betting the Dodgers. Let me tell you why you just can't continue doing that. The Dodgers today, they're like a minus 130 favorite because they're playing a very good team in the Philadelphia Phillies. As the season goes along, as the season progresses, the Dodgers are going to have a lot of games against terrible teams like the Pirates, like many games against their Western Conference foe, Western, I should say, NL West foe, not Western Conference, NL West foe, the Colorado Rockies. And in those games against teams like the Pirates, the Rockies, the Dodgers are probably going to be a minus 300 favorite, maybe minus 400, maybe minus 500. By the time we get into late August and whatnot, these lines tend to get totally out of hand. So, for the sake of argument, let's say you bet all 162 Dodger games as a minus 300 favorite. In other words, you're betting $3 every time on the Dodgers to win $1. So far that's turned out well for you. You're 7 units ahead. Let's say the Dodgers have a winning percentage of even like 66% this year. They go 105-57. Dodgers have a great year. Win the World Series. Do super. Let's say you bet the minus 300 and win a unit on every game the Dodgers win. You've turned now a profit of $105 so far. We're getting to the catch. We're getting to the punchline. So you've bet 105 units and you've profited 105 units on the 105 victories for the Dodgers. Here's the rub. On the 57 times the Dodgers lost at that minus 300 price, you've lost $300. You've lost $171 on those games. Do you see what I mean? So you can't bet these heavy favorites. It just doesn't pay out. Like today, for example, today's not a good example. Let's say the Dodgers, well, today is a good example. Dodgers minus 130 tonight. Let's say they lose. You bet the 130 for them to win the game. You lose. Let's say they're $1.30 favorite tomorrow. Let's say they win. So you lost $1.30 today. You make a profit tomorrow of only $1 because you bet the $1.30 to win the dollar. You're still in the hole. You need the Dodgers to win again at that price on Sunday just to turn a profit for the weekend. Let's say the Dodgers go 4-3 next week. Again, you're going to lose money, even though you're right 4 out of 7 times. You see what I mean? There's too much juice there. So you've got to do something else. You've got to bet the Dodgers to lay the 1.5. Might even get down to the point the Dodgers are laying 2.5 runs. You have to parlay the Dodgers. You can't bet the Dodgers every day and lay 3 units to win 1 unit. It just doesn't work. The math doesn't add up. Same thing on any of these MLB favorites who aren't going to win at the rate that the Dodgers are going to win. You can't lay 250 every day with a team maybe that isn't as good. Let's take the San Francisco Giants. You're going to see a lot of Giants games this year that are minus 250, minus 220. Giants, they might win 90 games, 95 games, have a pretty good year. Again, you're not going to turn a profit betting every Giants game by itself, laying the 250 in order to win $1. So same thing goes in just about any sport. Baseball is the weird sport because there are 162 events, and so people think, oh, the Dodgers, if I bet them every day and they win 100 games, I'm going to make money this year. Well, no, you're not. You're going to lose money. So just stick with me here for some more betting advice, but I had to get that out there so that most of you didn't get yourselves into some trouble. I know, a lot of you think, well, he's crazy. The Dodgers are 7-0. They're going to keep going this way. Well, the Dodgers aren't going to win 162 games. So I'm trying to help you out here. Go ahead and heed my advice and don't lay all the chalk. Don't be a chalk eating weasel. So that's your betting lesson for the day. That's all for me. We hope everybody has a good weekend. Probably we'll post on Twitter tomorrow, maybe some picks, but we've got a basketball tournament that starts bright and early at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So we'll be out at the basketball courts with an Egg McMuffin or something. Hopefully we're all awake. Hopefully I don't get a technical. Hopefully there are no incidents. And so I expect everyone to be on their best behavior, just like me at the basketball court tomorrow. And if you tail us to the window, we will cash tickets together. Have a good night, everybody.